Tonight, somewhere between 90 and 120 minutes after you fall asleep, your eyes will start moving fast under your closed lids. Your body will go paralyzed. You will have a dream. You will have 4 or 5 more before morning. By the time your alarm goes off, almost all of them will be gone. Most people assume the answer is simple. Your brain just doesn't bother recording them. And the real answer is far stranger than you'd expect, because your sleeping brain isn't failing to remember your dreams. It's actively choosing to destroy them. The first piece of the puzzle is biochemical, and it starts with what is missing from your brain at the exact moment you dream. In 2004, neuroscientist Matthew Walker, then at Harvard Medical School, and his colleague Robert Stickgold published a paper in the journal Neuron. They were studying memory in the sleeping brain. What they found looked impossible. When you dream, your brain runs on different chemistry than when you are awake. A small region in your brainstem called the locus coeruleus pumps out norepinephrine all day long. Norepinephrine is the chemical that tells your hippocampus, the engine of memory formation, lock this in. It is how your brain stamps an experience into long-term storage. Without it, no memory. During REM sleep, when most dreaming happens, your locus coeruleus goes silent. Norepinephrine drops to nearly zero, empty. Your hippocampus is still active, but it is not encoding new experiences. It is replaying old ones, sorting through what you already know. The system that normally turns experience into memory is, chemically speaking, switched off. So even if you have the most vivid dream of your life, the machinery your brain needs to write it down is not running. The pen has no ink. This is why the dream you had 10 minutes before your alarm went off can feel completely real for 30 seconds, then vanish before you even sit up. Your hippocampus tried. It had nothing to work with, but that is only half the story. And honestly, what comes next is even stranger. Because in 2014, 2 neuroscientists at the University of Wisconsin-Madison published a hypothesis that changed how we think about sleep. Giulio Tononi and Chiara Chiarelli called it the synaptic homeostasis hypothesis. Their idea was simple and disturbing. Every day you are awake, your brain forms new connections between neurons, billions of them. By evening, your synapses are saturated. If you do not trim them, the system overloads. Memory becomes noise. Learning stops. So at night, your brain prunes. It walks through the day's connections, keeps the strong ones, and clears the rest. Most of this happens during deep sleep. But during REM, something stranger occurs. Your brain reactivates fragments of those memories while it prunes, and what you experience as a dream is the editing process from the inside. A dream is not input. It is not your brain trying to record something. It is the byproduct of your brain shredding and reorganizing the day you just had. What you experience as a dream is the back end of your own memory getting edited. Faces dissolve into other faces. Places merge. Time stops behaving. You see the seams of memory pulled apart as it happens. Of course, you cannot remember it. The thing you are experiencing is the act of forgetting itself. But the strangest part is not biochemical. It is in your sense of self. Your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex sits behind your forehead. It runs reality testing, narrative coherence, and the autobiographical I that follows you through your day. It is how you know you are the same person who woke up this morning. It is what whispers, "This is happening to me, and I will remember it." In 1996, a team led by neurologist Pierre Maquet at the University of Liège published a PT imaging study in the journal Nature. They mapped which parts of the brain light up during REM sleep and which go dark. The results surprised them. The amygdala, the brain's emotional core, was on fire. The visual cortex was running, but the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex was almost completely offline. There is no narrator inside your dream, no quality control, no reality check. The dream just happens, the way weather happens. It has no observer attached. This is why dreams feel so strange while you are inside them. You watch yourself fly, or fail an exam you took 20 years ago, or speak to a dead relative, and never once think to ask if any of it makes sense. You can't. The part of you that asks is asleep, and it is also why the memory has nothing to anchor to. Even if your hippocampus could record a dream, there is no continuous self inside the experience for the memory to belong to. The dream is not your memory. It belongs to nobody. And here is the part nobody talks about. Forgetting your dreams is not a universal human failure. It is something most modern adults do without realizing it can be undone. The Sinoi people of the Malaysian rainforest used to wake their children every morning and ask them what they had dreamed. Children would answer in detail. Aboriginal Australians describe a dream state they call the dreaming, which runs parallel to waking life. Trained lucid dreamers in sleep labs can recall 4 or 5 distinct dreams a night, sometimes more. The mechanism is simple. They wake briefly between sleep cycles and verbalize what they just experienced. The act of putting the dream into words gives it a structure your waking brain can hold. Without language, dreams evaporate. With language, they stay. In modern sleep labs, researchers wake subjects in the middle of our REM cycle and ask them to describe what they were dreaming. The recall rate is over 80%. Wake them 10 minutes after the cycle ends, and the rate drops below 20%. The dream existed. The window to keep it just closed. In 2000, Finnish neuroscientist Antti Revonsuo, then at the University of Liège, proposed something bigger. In a paper for behavioral and brain sciences, he argued that dreams are an evolutionary feature, not a glitch. Dreams are threat simulations. Your sleeping brain runs your ancestors through the dangers of their world: predators, falls, social rejection, lost children. The simulation makes your body more prepared to face the real version when it comes. If you remembered every threat simulation as vividly as a real memory, the line between what happened and what did not would collapse. You would wake up convinced your friend betrayed you, or that you had killed someone, or that the predator from last night's dream was real. The forgetting protects you. Your brain runs the simulation, scrubs the receipts, and lets you function. So tonight, somewhere between 90 and 120 minutes after you fall asleep, your eyes will start moving fast under your closed lids. You will have a dream. You will have 4 or 5 more before morning. By the time your alarm goes off, almost all of it will be gone. Not because your brain failed to record, because your brain was doing something more important than remembering. It was rebuilding the day you just had. It was running you through dangers you will never face. It was deciding what to keep and what to throw away. And the dreams were the cost of admission. You were not supposed to remember them. You were supposed to wake up new.